What was the key mindset that shift that made that growth possible?
Hmm. I love that question, Jackie. For me, growing up, I had a little bit of the victim mentality. I blamed a lot of stuff on people, on situations. I never took responsibility for certain things. When the Great Recession came around, I read a book by T. Harv Eker called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And T. Harv Eker, in that book, he talked about your fruits earn your roots. And the mindset that I had, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners have as well, is I had that fixed mindset. Carol Dweck wrote a book called Mindset. And in it, she had two types of mindsets, one that was fixed and one that had a growth mindset. And I really want to talk about both just real quick because it's so important. Because the fixed mindset is the mindset that they think they know it all. They find excuses. If something doesn't work their way, they just sort of quit. A great example of that would be John McEnroe. Although he was an incredible tennis player, when things didn't go his way, it was the crowd, it was the noise, it was the weather, it was the sawdust. He was sick. That was his fixed mindset. He had to blame something. And I was trapped in that for a lot of years. Why can't I grow? Why can't I make money? It's got to be Obama. It's got to be Bush. It's got to be the recession. It's got no, but I have to point the finger back at me. That was my fixed mindset. And when I started diving into personal development and into growth, and I read Carol Dweck's book as well, the growth mindset looks at everything as your yourself, your learnings, your teachings, they're not immutable. You can actually learn things. The growth mindset sees the problem and says, well, there's a problem. How do I solve that problem? Or how do I learn from that problem? Whereas the fixed mindset says, there's the problem. I'm going to avoid it. Right. I don't want to even deal with it. The growth mindset is like, I can grow. I can change. I want a challenge. I know that if I do make a mistake, I won't view it as a mistake. It's just an opportunity to learn and to continue to grow. I had a restaurant for almost 20 years, one location. That was the fixed mindset. I couldn't scale that. But when I met my business partner, Jake, within 5 years, we went from one apartment complex to over 1,500 units in about 5 years. That was a growth mindset on steroids because I was so fed up and I was so inundated with personal development and so I raised my standard. That's really what it came down to. So if there's one thing when you talk about the different mindset, it really said shed that fixed mindset and adopt the growth mindset.
All right. So it sounds like 100% dissatisfaction is 100% change.